you're on a GLP-1 therapy and experiencing nausea, reflux, bloating, and vomiting after meals, the first thing I want you to hear is this. Most of the time, this is not a medication problem. It is an eating speed problem. And an eating speed problem has a fix that costs nothing and can change dramatically how you feel on this medication and how you feel after your next meal. I'm Dr. Paul Miranda, family physician, founder of Summit Metabolic Health. This is Commandment 7, eat slowly, stop at 80% full, put your fork down, 20 minutes minimum per meal. Here's why. All right, gastric emptying is intentional and has consequences. They are naturally delayed on a GLP-1. The GLP-1 receptor slows down gastric emptying as an intentional pharmacologic effect. Slower gastric emptying extends satiety. This means that you feel full, reduces your post-meal glucose spikes. The trade-off is the stomach is full, your emptying is slowed, and it's more sensitive to filling speed and volume. Think of a pipe with a reduced flow rate. If you pour water into a clogged pipe, it drains slowly at a pace and it stays manageable. Now you pour water in that same pipe too fast, it backs up, pressure builds up, it overflows. That's reflux, bloating, nausea. And if the pressure is severe enough, you vomit. This is what happens when patients on GLP-1 therapy eat their food at a pre-medication pace. Their stomach is emptying slower, food goes in at the same speed as before, the volume accumulates faster than it can exit. The stomach stretches as much as it can, it activates nausea signals, and the patient blames the medication. Medication created the condition. Eating speed triggered the symptom. You have to fix this, the eating speed. All right, why 80%? Fullness travels from the stomach to the brain via the vagus nerve. This communication takes 15 to 20 minutes from the moment the stomach is physiologically full. Most people eat quickly, overshoot their fullness threshold well before the signal arrives. On a GLP-1 therapy, with delayed gastric emptying, the signal is even slower, and the consequence of overshooting is worse. Stopping at 80% full accounts for that delay. If you stop feeling satisfied but not full, you will feel appropriately full in 15 to 20 minutes later. If you stop feeling full when you feel uncomfortably full, i.e. you overeat 15, 20 minutes later, you feel miserable. You hear my dogs. Learning to identify 80%. This is the hard part. When your hunger is gone, when you could eat more but you choose not to, when the urgency to eat has dropped without the heaviness of fullness, you are comfortable, not stuffed. This is what it feels like. Stopping too early after several weeks, that discomfort is evidence and your current habit is way too wrong. Stop anyway. Set a timer, 20 minutes, and then reassess. All right. My mother always told me this. I never listened. Maybe I should have. One of the most practical ways to change this behavior, to slow down, put your fork down. Stop shoveling the food in your mouth. Not just slow down, put it down. Pick it up after you chewed and swallowed every previous bite. This is a rate limiting mechanism, not manner suggestion. Most people have the next bite loaded, moving toward their mouth before the swallowing is even complete. That eating pattern, entirely normal in American diet, is incompatible with the GLP-1 therapy at any meaningful dose. Fork down between each bite adds time into eating and makes it an event that requires no willpower. It is difficult to accidentally eat fast when the utensil is on the plate. Try it for one meal today. Notice how uncomfortable it feels. The discomfort is a signal of how far the current habit is from where we need it to be. The current target, where do you want to be? A meal eaten over 20 minutes gives the stomach time to begin the emptying process before the volume is being added. It reduces the peak volume and the stomach must handle. This allows the signals of satiety, you feel full, to develop in real time. Set a timer. If it goes off and you haven't finished, stop anyway. Fork down practice will pace you naturally until the timer becomes unnecessary. All right, I saw this listed in another reel and I thought it was actually kind of interesting. When you're on a GLP-1, foods are not the same. Foods can be much worse, and I've seen this over and over in my patients. High-fat meals. Fat independently slows gastric emptying. Layer that onto a GLP-1 and it comes to a screeching halt. Keep the fat portions moderate. Don't go crazy. Fried food, cheeses, oily food, all that. Second thing to watch out for, carbonated beverages, anything that's fizzy. The added gas volume slows down your emptying stomach. You feel bloated and horrible. If you have to drink something that has a little fizz to it, sparkling water, but be very careful. All right, another thing, this is counterintuitive. Careful with the vegetables. When you talk about cruciferous vegetables, this is things like broccoli, cauliflower. So you eat them, they can ferment. They produce gas. So do not eat them raw or be careful. Cook them, reduce portion sizes in the early weeks. And last thing, and this is something we are all guilty of, do not eat while distracted. No phones, no screens, no working meals. Don't eat at your desk. This dramatically increases your eating speed. Restaurants, they purposely have loud music so that you'll eat faster. Distracted eating is incompatible with fork down protocol. Create an environment where you can pay attention. You look at like the Europeans and Italians and French. Eating is an event. Drinking coffee is an event, not something they're just trying to get through. It is actually rude to eat or drink while walking. Maybe interesting as obesity is so much less over there than what we have over here. All right, for most patients, that's all we need to do. Slow down the eating, reduce the portion size, listening to our body. For some though, significant nausea or vomiting persists even after the perfect eating techniques. When that is the case, this is a clinical conversation, not a behavioral problem to push through. Vomiting more than once in 48 hours on a stable dose is a red flag. Inability to maintain adequate hydration due to nausea and vomiting, red flag. Nausea persisting more than 2 weeks after a dose adjustment, red flag. Symptoms severe enough to alter your day, red flag. These are reasons to you contact me or your provider. This is a conversation. Pushing through severe GI symptoms is not tough. It just makes you sicker, and then you end up seeing me in the emergency room. Fork down between bites, 20 minutes minimum per meal. Stop at 80% full. And prove to yourself you were right to stop by setting a timer. Your stomach is operating under a different set of rules with GLP-1s. Your eating speed needs to match this. If you've been blaming the medication for your nausea and haven't been changing your eating speed, try this for 5 to 6 days before talking to your provider about dose reduction. My strong prediction, most of the nausea will resolve. Next commandment, ultra-processed foods and why eating less makes food quality makes you worse than ever. I'm Dr. Paul Miranda. If eating speed was something no one told you about before starting a GLP-1 therapy, drop a comment. This one is the most under-taught parts of GLP-1 care.